Hey everybody, Alexa Zepp here with the Daily Racing Form to go over a wager for Belmont Stakes Day. So one of the really fun things about these big race days is that special wagers are offered. So this Saturday, they're offering a $5 double with an 18.5% takeout that connects the Met Mile to the Belmont Stakes. And these higher base wagers have less coverage and end up having really good payouts. So again, it starts with the Met Mile, which is the 10th race on the card on Saturday. It, as the name suggests, is a mile on the dirt for 3-year-olds and up. It is also a Breeders' Cup Challenge Series race. So whoever wins this race wins an entry into the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile and gets to punch their ticket to Del Mar this November. Obviously, this year is different as we are running the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga, and it definitely impacts the Met Mile, which is typically a one-turn mile at Belmont. However, at Saratoga, they're starting out of the Wilson chute. So it's kind of a 1.5 turn mile. And they're starting really right on that turn. So those horses are gonna have to take a really sharp left right at the beginning, which is disadvantageous to whoever draws the outside post. Now, this is only a 6-horse field. So I'm not as concerned about that as I would be if it was a really full field. But it's definitely still gonna cost that outside post horse some. And even though it is a small field, we have some really big names showing up, including our last year Preakness and this year Pegasus winner, National Treasure, and our Breeders' Cup Classic winner, White Abarrio. I like both of them in here quite a bit, but for the sake of value, I had to pick one. And I won't lie, I did agonize for probably way too long over who to pick in here. I even took it to Twitter on a poll, which is still active. So go on and vote and we'll see who the public prefers. But I ended up siding with number 2, National Treasure. When I get in too deep like that and I find myself really spinning between horses, I remind myself to go back to the basics and look at raw times. And I just think National Treasure is slightly faster. He also has the better post position draw, considering the Wilson chute, and should be peaking in his 4-year-old year like White Abarrio did last year. I love the Baffert 6 furlong work preps and the fact that he likes to be more forwardly placed, which should be advantageous in this rather straightforward pace scenario. He just about clipped Cody's Wish last year and did beat Senor Buscador, who then took the Saudi Cup. So he's right up there with the best. I do want to add a value play in here as well with the number 5, Hoist the Gold. His lifetime best was just 3 back, wiring the field with a 109 buyer in the Cigar Mile, which is the second best figure out of anybody in this field. It was muddy that day, so that likely helped his cause. I know it's raining today, Thursday, and probably tomorrow, Friday. And I think it's gonna be, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of rain on Saturday, but if there is moisture in the track, that should help him. The pace scenario for this race really is pretty boring. Even the Timeform US pace projector has them all in a line from the start. I don't think he's the most talented in here, but I think he has the potential to wire the field with the race shape, and at 15-1 morning line, he just adds really good value to the ticket. The second leg of the double is the Belmont Stakes, the big feature for the weekend. It's a $2 million purse for 3-year-olds going 1.25 miles on the dirt. And we have a 10-horse field in here, which includes the Derby winner, the Preakness winner, and the horses that rounded out those exactas. So they're all here for a rematch. There's a lot of speedsters in here with Seize the Gray, Doorknock, Mindframe. So I do think it'll be a hot contested pace. I am not using the Derby or Preakness winners. I feel like Seize the Gray was aided by the muddy track and is just a bounce candidate in here. And I'm not taking away from the incredible trip that Mystic Dan had in the Derby, but I do think that Sierra Leone wins that day if he doesn't lug into Forever Young. And even apart from him, there are just stronger closers in here, in my opinion. So that leads me to the 3 horses that I am using, which is number 8, Honor Marie, number 9, Sierra Leone, and number 10, Mindframe. Honor Marie is a real decent price with 12-1 morning line and probably the best closer in the race. You can throw out his disappointing Kentucky Derby performance because he was bumped around real bad early on and it just lost all chances for him. He hasn't run since then, so he's fresh and he's been working well. One caveat here though with him is that he doesn't seem to succeed in the slop. So if we do get moisture in the track, I would exclude him and replace him with the number 4, the Wine Steward. Sierra Leone is the morning line favorite and comes to redeem himself after he missed his Derby glory by only a nose. Again, we have seen him struggle with focus in the 2 races that he has lost. Chad Brown is really switching things up though to help with that. After the Remsen, remember that they added blinkers, which really seemed to help. And this time he's changing his bit from a snaffle bit to a Houghton bit, which is less flexible and should help the jockey keep him from lugging in. The jockey is the other change. So Tyler Gaffleone is not returning, and instead Flavien Prat will be aboard. I think the pace sets up really well for him here as long as he can stay focused and stay from being so far back. And finally, Mindframe. This is actually my top selection in here. This 3-year-old showed up late on the scene, and I think we'll shake things up for our 3-year-old class. He's undefeated in 2 starts and won each of those impressively by a cumulative 21 lengths. In his debut race in March, he posted a 103 Beyer, which is the lifetime best of anybody in here. He did then run on Derby Day at Churchill, but in an allowance optional claiming race on the undercard, which he again smashed with a 97 Beyer. 8.5 furlongs is the farthest he's gone, so this is a big ask distance-wise. But again, he won that first race by almost 14 lengths, and then the next by over 7 lengths. So I'm not worried about it. This will be his first time against this level of competition. But again, he's already topped everybody's figures in here, so I'm really not worried about it. From his 2 starts, we've also seen that he has tactical speed as he came from off the pace in one and then wired the field in the other. And tactical speed is just really valuable in any race, but especially in the Belmont. He's by Constitution and trained by Pletcher, who has 3 horses in here, but he puts IRAD on Mindframe. Pletcher's also won the Belmont Stakes 4 times, so he definitely knows what it takes. So with the $5 minimum, this double is a modest $30. Since I do like some of the lower odds horses, I just wanted to keep this ticket cheap so that we can be able to make a return on investment. But again, these high minimum wagers tend to pay really well. So good luck on this fun special wager and with all of your wagers this weekend at the Belmont Stakes.